Hello, welcome to another tonal landscape oil painting demonstration. This is your painter in residence. I'm Francis McCarthy, and the painting I'm bringing you today is called Poor Knight's Island 5x7. And I painted this last week. Not a super productive week for me, but I was really pleased with the way this painting came out. I did it like Monday, I guess, and you see me. I'm always struggling to get that nice and centered for you. Wow, you're getting the full schlemiel here. Um, yeah, I am really pleased with it because it's my first go at painting like some real active type waves, and just water on the foreground instead of, land of some type. And it was really fun, and like I said, I'm pleased with how it turned out, and I'm pleased to share it with you. And I'll impart some of my insights about how I approached it, probably more when we get into that. But if you're interested in checking out the reference image for this scene, it comes up prior to the members area video version of this painting session, which is real time, about hour and almost 2 hours actually. Actually, no, it's over 2 hours because there's a color mixing session and stuff too. Anyway, you get pretty much every stroke that goes down on the painting, though. You get it here in 15-minute land, and it's just all sped up. Yeah, but the real time's cool because the struggle is real, and there we are. You can see what we're doing here. We're working out our underpainting, and that's on a board prepped with some house paint. Good 3 coats to a custom color I like, and we're using our typical burnt umber. Now, for a scene like this with all these blues, I could have and I would have maybe done that on a gray in the past, but actually I have to say that the reds and stuff coming up through the water actually worked real well for me. And of course, the brown and the underpainting being brown is always a great support for your landscape elements. It's a classic approach, and I'm a classic kind of guy. So, um, I will probably paint this scene much larger. I will also say that this is based on some reference I came across on the interwebs, and I think I took enough liberties with it. I'm under the fair use provisions, but always got to be careful with that. It's mostly for my own personal learning, and yours as well. So not a lot of money's going to be made off of this. But either way, to get a shot like this, you're going to have to be out on a boat. And Poor Knight's Island, by the way, is not far from where I live here in New Zealand. It's a really popular diving spot. I'm not a diving kind of guy. I'm also not the kind of guy that gets on boats very often. I'm the kind of guy that sits in the studio and makes paintings. But I had some people come in about 3 months back or so, and uh, the it was a really nice couple, and the guy that came in, he was a diver, and he showed me some stuff in his phone of Poor Knight's Island, and it looked really cool to me. And I do have galleries not far from that location, so maybe there'll be some overlap. We'll see. We'll find out. It doesn't matter because I'm really pleased with the way the painting came out, and I really, really, really like landforms that have holes in them. I don't get the opportunity to paint that kind of thing too much, and I really love that. I'm a whole space kind of guy. Now, on the sky here, I did composite a completely different sky into my reference, and oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So, yeah, the sky, I paint thousands and thousands of skies. Some of them can be challenging, but generally have an approach to skies that works for me very well. Here I did a few things that were different, where I was using maybe the flat side of the brush to do a little like blending, and I thought that was a neat little experiment. You'll see me do that later. Sorry, we got the dogs wanting to bark. They know they're going to get in trouble though. Um, the thing I really want to say though is like the reference wasn't high res exactly, but there are so many little features of this landscape that you can easily get lost in all that. And so my own personal coaching and would be my coaching for you if I was there with you while you were going after a tough scene like this would be just chunk it. And that's what they hear me say in the members area. I'm just going to chunk it. Meaning I'm not going to worry about painting lots of little specific details. I'm going to use a brush that's a little slightly large, and I'm going to chunk it. Now we got an ad for the book coming up. We shipped a bunch of books out this week. Well, a bunch meaning two, but hey, I'm happy to do it. And I love shipping this all over the world. We sent one to Finland very recently, and that's awesome. I got another one going out Monday. We got the Easter weekend going here, but it's 10 years of information condensed in about 160 pages or so, maybe. And yeah, a good primer on painting in a way that I couldn't really find any instruction on to speak of. So check that out. $60 US. International shipping is included to make everyone's life easy. All right, back to this chunking thing, this chunking concept, you know. And I knew that I knew in my mind I had a framework that we were going to have a certain sort of approach to the landscape. I knew that when I was painting the sky, and I always paint the sky first. So I kind of sort of setting things up in the sky. There's that technique I was telling you. That actually worked really neat. This board was, I think it's MDF, I want to say. It could be hardboard though. You notice here I forgot to paint the hole, but I'll get to that. Yeah, I don't want to get up in the weeds. Also, there's a lot of features in the actual shape and design of the landscape, you know, the little island itself. I wanted to be faithful as I could be to those so that they would be recognizable. But I, you know, probably got some proportions a little off here and there. And the difference between getting something exactly right there or closer, closer than what I did, and doing what I did is, you know, maybe an extra hour. I don't want to spend that hour just tweaking on things. If, in fact, if I would say if you're the kind of person that things need to be so exact like that, then you might be the same kind of person that wants to grid, use a tighter grid. You notice I have a grid at the beginning, but that's just a really loose grid to give us our bearings. Okay, let's talk about this water. So yeah, I just went crazy, you know. And oh, here's a tip. You know, my dark brush wasn't exactly big, but even if a brush isn't really big, you can use the side of it to do wide strokes. Just keep that in mind. Yeah, so I have kind of set up a bit of an abstract pattern. I did get some help with the old Adobe coming up with some of that. But really it's a matter of interpreting it and just hanging loose. So I enjoyed putting in those real dark blacks, and then my blue, you know, was coming in right on top. Very much the same approach I would use in a lot of times with trees, where I'm pulling the dark greens right out of the darkest black tones. So and then, but I did play around with a couple different blues. Also, this is an instance where in this painting I thought, well, I got all these blues I want to do. Maybe I'll put some cobalt on my palette. And I did enjoy using cobalt. Cobalt was my go-to for a long time. Cobalt blue is very expensive. It's really pretty, but I have to be honest with you. I think Prussian blue is a way better color for skies. As a matter of fact, I ended up sticking some in my cobalt mix to just get the sky going where I wanted it to go. But what I would say on this water, which is painted, is just patterns. I took the advice that I'm always giving my, well, giving you and giving my local students, you know, when I've got them, and that is, if you have to go after something that you don't really feel that comfortable, maybe it's because you haven't had much experience painting it, or it's been a struggle. Just remember that everything in your painting is actually shapes. So just start making shapes and make large shapes and then subdivide them a bit and change up your color and always be modulating. That's ABM, always be modulating. That's in the book. And that's a big part of the new project I'm working on too, which is all I'm going to say. Hey, people in the members area, I can't help but ramble about it, but I am working on a new project, and it's going to be pretty cool, pretty vast. I'm really stoked with the way these waves came out, and of course we're going to have the big payoff of the white water coming in. But I like to move different parts of the painting along. The sky, I will get that in, and I will get the lightest values in the sky. I don't hold off on that. It's important because you're going to have to gauge everything else in the painting against that sky. You know, um, I will say I did have some struggles. It's looking okay to me now. I've been having struggles with this. Either the camera or my monitor at home here with getting like a real spready thing on the blacks. I am working on getting a new monitor, and um, yeah, hopefully that'll make things go a lot better. All right, so see this bit we're painting here now. I really just chunked it. There's so many little details, and you have to remember that I was a drawer and illustrator. I would go after those details. I have the rigor, and I have done it, but that's not what I wanted in this painting. I wanted expressive quality, recognizable land feature, and that's it. That was my whole brief, and I'm really happy with I was able to pull it off. And I'm very interested in painting this scene larger at some point. I have collected a few other references. What I loved about this one was the waves crashing up against the island. Really is a big payoff. And yeah, that's neat. And I love painting waves. I'm getting better at it. That's the other thing I wanted to say is I've been talking in the past about doing a book on painting coastal scenes and seascapes, but my most of my experience in most of this channel, if you notice, is inland type scenes. So I really didn't feel like I had enough experience to be writing about that from a I'm a professional painter, and I sell lots of paintings in my coastal scenes, but and I'm still learning. Like, this is the first time I've gone after waves like this. It's not the first time I've painted these sort of heads with the greens and the rocks, and I really enjoy that. One tip for you is, like, don't be afraid to intersperse things in when you're doing, like, say, painting a peninsula or something with a bunch of greens in it. Be sure to jab in a bunch of grays and reds and things. And at one point when I was painting this, I brought in a few more actual, like, gray tones, and I think that was real successful. Now, painting the waves, you can see that one of my techniques I've come up for that is to do not the brightest. Don't start with the brightest, and this is very much an extension of my approach to some cloud forms, where if you have a more medium tone, then you can paint a lighter tone over the top and let some of the medium tone take care of the transitional areas. And that's exactly what I did here. Another big tip, lots of tips here, especially, I don't know if you like painting this kind of scene, you can almost see that effect there. When I come in with my lightest, brightest whites for waves, I like to make sure there's a lot of oil in it. That's not a new tip either. There's plenty of seascape paintings on the channel, and I'm sure I passed that on before, but you can see I'm just putting a few little accents on those waves, and that's a big payoff too, It was so fun. I really enjoyed it, and I plan on, at some point, painting more. This has definitely opened up some different avenues for me as far as things I could go after as a painter, and that's always exciting. Yeah, I'm not as broad as some guys do a seascape 1 minute and still life the next, and a portrait after that. But you know, old Uncle Mike, he's a landscape painter, now a seascape painter. Anyway, until they come back with another video for your edification, hopefully for your edification and enjoyment, do me a favor, do me a solid, take good care of yourself, your family, all your loved ones, and stay out of trouble.